Hello everyone, this is Karthik from IT Learn. Thank you so much for joining into the live or watching the video. We are in the orientation or day one session for the crowd testing for beginners. So we're going to talk a lot about this team and how this will primarily be working with you overall as a program, how we're going to all involve with you into it. So to begin with team, let me make sure that you understand that this is part of a 7 weeks program. Okay, so 7 weeks, there's a lot that we will cover, but the first 2 weeks, we will focus mostly on manual testing. Okay, so when I talk about manual testing, it is not just about process, STLC, SDLC, Agile, and so on. It is also about using certain tools which are not code intensive. Okay, rather it's not code centric tools. We will also talk about how we will be able to perform various activities of functional regression app testing, both for UI, API, and in this case also mobile apps. So that is what we will try and cover, team. So we will go through these specific areas. Now, I want to have a quick poll to check with you all, team. What is your current level of expertise? And where are you in terms of your career overall? So yes, we focus a lot on software test automation. And the next 5 weeks, we will go deeper into that. But currently, as you see yourself, where are you in this whole quest? I have a poll team in front of you. If you can quickly give it a shot. So there are 4 options for you, team, about yourself. You're at a beginner level. You're someone who's been going through trainings. You're working currently, or others. I don't know what others mean, but basically you have a gap, or you're just exploring different skills and tool sets. Can I have everyone participate in it, please? I've got about 68, 75% votes so far. All right, I've got almost everyone voting in. I'm going to close this poll and share the results. So team, almost 67% of you are not in that working section yet. If you see the result that's there, there's about 21% of you are working, 13% is others, but majority of you are not currently into a project and so on. The reason I'm talking about these activities out here, team, let me hide this poll and come back to the screen, is how do we get overall job ready? Now, these are from a manual testing perspective. So there's still lots of jobs that require you to focus as a manual test engineer and be able to contribute from there. Yes, the pace may not be great, but team, am I audible to everyone? I got 1 or 2 people saying couldn't hear. Yes, okay, thank you so much. So, but that's a great starting point, everyone, to contribute into quality. Overall, we're talking about quality. How do we improve quality? And that's what we assure. So, quality assurance. Um, when we look at a lot of projects and startups and apps that get launched quickly, There are a lot of things that go through it, team. Number one is to try and come up with a defect-free solution. So they don't want to see any applications that are user centric. They want to be able to build the applications that are user centric and avoid any kind of issues that will take them away from being liked by users or being used overall. They also need to do repetitive QA as new versions get released. And very importantly, how does a end user look at it? Or, simulating end user. All right. So let me explain these three things, team. What I'm trying to signify on these points is very simple. Number one, everyone wants to make sure that this defect-free solution. So they want to find and fix bugs before release. Now, what happens is you have constant changes that happen. So your applications change, the behavior changes, the data, the way it flows changes, and so on. And you want to be able to make sure that it is very friendly for the end user. So how do we make these things happen, team? So there's a lot of um, work or effort that goes in between them. Now, when we talk about defect-free solution user-centric, we need to do a total test coverage. Imagine this, team, just into your imaginations right now. We will be very, very smooth flowing for the first 2 weeks with these concepts. And then we will get into something deeper with 5 weeks of automation. Okay, post. Now, when we talk about defect-free solution, we are emphasizing that, let us say you build a new electric automobile or a car, okay, four-wheel vehicle like a Tesla. So when you are going to release that version, you don't just test for the safety of the car, the performance of the engine, and how does it function, overall security. You will have to test even the basic things like the door lock, unlock, how do the windshields go up, down, what happens with your wipers, visors. All of these things are important as features. So we cannot leave anything. There are critical and non-critical features also. Everything has to be exposed and tested. So that means there's a lot of work that has to be done. So this requires a lot of manual intervention at the beginning. Now, as things start shaping up, you can put it into automating certain components of it. In 2021, when we look at it, we are doing a large amount of automation, team. Has seen massive percentage of automation. So when we talk about automation, we are saying that we will teach a tool, we will give it a structure and a discipline through which it can go execute and follow the instructions, through which it is able to say, okay, how good is my application? So either I'm doing it in a manual process or I'm taking the help of automation tools. And that becomes very important. Now, when we say end user testing, we want to basically have a very strong UI, user interface, UX, with the features for the app. So how does a user look at it? It is not just, oh, is it working or not? How good is it? What is the quality of it? It is not that always we're talking about the quantity of how many things we have done, but each and everything, how do we approach, how do we execute it? That is the other aspect of it, team. The reason I'm saying this, team, is also with understanding the job market. Okay. So when we talk about crowd testing, we basically are saying how we can simulate an end user experience from their own locations. So let us say that there is a company or an app X, and now their market is US, Europe, and let us say Middle East. Now they are not yet in Asia and Australia. So what happens is before they release into, let's say, Asia and Australia, there are few things that they want to do, team. They want to do a lot of local based testing. And when I say local, there are a lot of things that involve. There is language. Sometimes there are system or device configurations that are specific to your country sometimes. You are constantly working on service, again, local service providers of Wi-Fi, internet, etc., cellular internet, and how we do device-based testing. So these clients want a market survey along with a good testing. So they look at some of the testers to be part of quick releases where you are contributing through executing certain user stories. So you primarily have a bunch of tasks to do. You have to not only perform the task, but also take enough data around it, from workflow of what happens step 1, step 2, etc., screenshots as to what each and everything happens, all covered or included features, or what we also talk about as scope of what we want to do. All of this have to be rightly documented and presented as well, team. So if you look at any software test engineer, they come with the above skills. Okay. Now, the 2 or 3 more things that have become a little bit more relevant, team, that a lot of projects are these days work from home. So the negative side of it is you don't have anyone over your shoulder to help you or for you to provide feedback. So when we work in corporate organizations, team, it's not a one-way street. It's not where I am sitting in an office with 25, 30 other people that I'm expecting everyone to come and help me. Sometimes my knowledge grows, my exposure grows, my experience grows through helping the others who are working on these projects. So work from home, you're pretty much independent, team. You have to self-rely independent. You have to be very self-reliant, self-learning, and also self-motivating. So there's a lot of time that you're spending by yourself in a structured way trying to solve things. Yes, you put them together and get into an agile scrum kind of meetings regularly where you showcase your work in short, brief synopsis. So you give a clear idea as to what is happening, what is it that you do, what is the learnings that you had, what are the challenges that you've done. I want you all to focus on such project works for the next 2 weeks. So for us, it's very important, team, as to how much time you can spend. So the schedule right now is very simple that we have put. We're having training from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. We have a J-packed with interview questions live, some of the live projects and so on. That's from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. Pacific time. Again, Monday to Friday. So if you are someone beginning, you should definitely attend the training team. If you're already a member, please participate in the JPACT activities so you can do a lot of certifications and so on. Now, I forgot something. I'm going to come to this part of certain things. Work from home, we spoke about this, right? And what we talk about as crowd testing team. So crowd testing, when we talk about, you part of a large distributed QA engineers. So location is not there, but you're all working towards the same purpose. Okay. How do we go about doing it? That is what we will try and deeply learn through this team. And I spoke about somewhere out here in terms of communication, comms. Did I speak about it? No. Okay. So, what is it that we will learn? Let me quickly talk about. We will talk about Agile. We will talk about STLC and how SDLC comes into it. We'll talk a lot about manual process and the importance of it. We will focus on documentation. How is it critical for you to document everything, put it into a right structure with the right nomenclature, certain things that you have agreed with. We will design and come up with process steps A, B, C, D, E. What happens if D fails? What do we do? And so on, such kind of scenarios. We will talk about comms team, communication. And when I say communication, it is not just your ability to communicate easily with other humans in English. It is not just that. It is also about how we set up our infrastructure, your mic, your internet, everything, how you put your documentation, what is the regularity or frequency through which you share this information across. Let's keep all of that. We will start using metrics and some key performance indicators to be able to tell us how we're progressing on our application, like a health chart. So we have to do a lot of reports. We will talk about how we write, maintain, and execute manual test cases. So while there's so much speak about automation, we also know that within the next 1-2 years, there'll be a lot of AI powered automation tools that cover the market. The importance of what a user goes through, what is the user experience, how can we do those end user simulations is still very critical from a manual testing. So you will be able to focus on this a little bit, team. We will speak a lot about. So all the activities that we will do, we'll put it into a G Drive team. And we will talk about some source code management tools like GitHub, how we can host our solutions, whatever we do, and share it, collaborate with it, with everyone on it. We will expose ourselves to an overview on Selenium plus the Java TestNG family, along with automation frameworks. So you know what we can use, how we can work on this. This all without Eclipse team. So we will not do coding. I'll still keep it very manual so that it's easy. Now we have to cover mostly at least the two aspects of UI and API testing. So both user interface and application programming interface. So that means that yes, you will also need to learn tools like Postman. We will learn about that and how we can work on that. We will work with tools like AnyAuth that will give you a very, very easy way to understand how we can do UI regression automation. We will talk about mobile apps and testing on real handheld devices. What do customers like to see as an output from you? Anyone can test, but why will our work be much more qualified? Because of the way we present our output. How do we structure everything and put it? There is a big need for security also in load testing. I will skip this for this part. We will cover it a little bit more into automation. And team, more importantly, we will have this as a training program. So that means it's not one way, and you will have plenty of, activities and assignments. So you will be working on a lot of things, team, along with me. I want you to take it one by one after the other, and start going from there. I will keep guiding you, and then we will also finish our certification exams. Now, all of this we're going to be working or doing as part of the first 2 weeks of a crowd testing training. Now, when we go into the automation, there's a huge list. The way we have organized is very simple. We're talking crowd testing for beginners. This is the one when we go through a lot of these basic stuff that I was talking about. Yes, we will see some of the top tools, team. So I wanted to write manual test engineer, but let us start with the very basic qualification as a manual tester, team. We can then get it to the next. Let's talk about what we will do after 2 weeks also. We're going to go into the depth of automation frameworks. We'll do a lot of code dirty. We'll learn the basics of Java, JUnit, TestNG, Maven, Log4j, Apache POI, make sure how we learn to use Selenium WebDriver, all the commands, how do we identify elements, work with them, and so on. We will then go into BDD, ATDD with Cucumber Gherkin Karate. We'll work on that. We'll cover both API and UI for it. If we get time, we'll also do load. Then we're going to go into API testing with Java REST Assured, Python, Request, Postman, JSON. So we're going to explore this from both Java and Python perspectives, team. So the reason I kept this as a separate topic is there is a lot of demand on how we do a total coverage of our application testing. So there's continuous integration, there's continuous deployment, and then there's continuous testing. So when we do any of this, we need to know to a large extent as to what is our coverage depth, and that would be something we will focus here. CI/CD DevOps, like I was saying, continuous integration, continuous deployment or delivery. Then we also talk about the overall ops or operations, development operations, and how do we release, virtualize, how do we monitor what's happening with our different servers and applications on them. All that we will focus there. The last one here, team, I want to have a specifically focused session on Python for UI. We have anyway doing it for API out here basic, but how do we do things like PyTest and a lot of other things that we can integrate along with Python? That's going to be the automation testing plan. So there's a, unlike um, unlike 2017 and earlier, the list of tools have increased, team. Sorry, but there's no easier way for it. The only thing that we can do is make it logical for use and fun to work with. So any of these tools that we do, once you get that feel of it, it'll be easy for us to go along. Now, team JPact, when we talk about JPact, I just want you to be sure that you're aware of what we're doing. A lot of live projects, but today we're going to start with, hopefully once Ramu is ready with mock interviews, we're going to prepare more from interview perspective, team. So when we talk about this, it's not just trying to give you a coding challenge, answers, and so on. Let us collaborate, discuss, and talk about how we present it to an interviewer. So when we ask a question, it is our duty to give the right idea about who we are, what we do in their team. Now, all of this will take a lot of time. So for today, there are two installations I want you to do. One will be Postman for API, and the second will be Eniot for UI and API. So we can use that. So we will be able to test these two things. There'll be a few more to do installations later, team, but today we want to be able to do this. Now, while I go through opening up those installation URLs and giving you the idea, I want you to answer this poll, team. How much time can you cater to our purpose? So, how many hours can you spend, team? That's what it means. We require time for us to come together to learn. We also require time for us to be able to practice, work on projects, work on crowd testing with other members. And I also will do team divisions tomorrow. And please note, team, like I was saying, this is a training program. You will have to involve a little bit. Ideally, anyone getting into the QA automation world, this is like a 2 to 4 months journey. And to really become masters, you're looking at 3 to 9 months. Once you get that exposure, once you work on 2 or 3 good solid projects, you will feel a lot of confidence and why we've been doing all of this our entire lives in QA and so on, team. All right, so polls are in front of you. How ready are you to participate, please? Fully committed to the program, someone who's able to spend 3+ hours, on a daily basis, consistently. So if you give it 5 days a week, you're talking 15-20 hours, team. The next option is 2+. The third option is just to attend live or watch the videos. That itself requires 1+. So seeing what we are doing, and if you don't put your hands onto it, it'll not help you a lot, team. So you should be in the first 1 or 2. If you're busy, maybe you can park your option here or come back to it later. But here are the ones. I got 71% votes so far. Can I request everyone else to finish it? Your poll on your screen, just click on the option. And will be now ready with questions. Any questions that you have, team, please raise your hand. I will start unmuting everyone. Second, if there's anything that you need to show on your screen, I can do that. Okay, team, I'm closing the polls. There are few of you who haven't completed it. 79% have done, 82%. So let me quickly close it now. All right, team. So those are the results. We've got at least 70% of the participants saying that they'll spend 2+ hours. So that is good. That I would really want you to spend time, team. This is a program that should boost you, should be able to add more things to your confidence level, your bucket list of what you're capable of doing. All right, great. Thank you so much on that. I'm going to quickly hide that. Back to the document. What was it saying? Installations, right? So let me talk about this. So first is Postman. It's postman.com, is it? Let me see. Hello. I just noticed I was on mute. Um, there's one question that has come in from one of the members, which says, in Java, can you teach collection, array list, hashed linked list? So I think I did cover them also as a summary of the complete end-to-end Java tutorials. Let's cover them again. Okay, no problem. Absolutely, Umesh. Okay, so back here, I could not find the application loading. Can you all check if this is loading up, team, for you? And can you, one of you, be the presenters who can show me your screen with postman.com? And I will also, why is it not loading for me? Can you check what's happening at your end? Go to github.com/neotex runner. These are the two URLs that I want you to navigate and download from team. We're going to use them tomorrow. Postman.com is loading, team, for you. Can I make anyone presenter, please? Kailash, it doesn't matter which country I am, where I am. You can do a Google and find out what is the local equivalent time in your zone. Please remember this very, very well, everyone. I will do zero amount of spoon feeding. I'm not here to build on your laziness and so on. I'm here to make you capable to find your solutions the right way. Is that clear? So for example, the question is, what is the timing? So what is PT? Go to a Google. What does PT mean for? What does it stand for in your Indian equivalent time? IST, find it out, please. Okay, that is for you to do, you to figure out and you to set it up, please. But primarily, just a quick answer, 5:30 p.m. Pacific time is 8:30 p.m. Eastern time, which is 7 a.m. IST currently. Who wants to be a presenter to show me Postman and any or these two? I want to show you how we can download them and get them on your machine. And I also am ready to take any questions. So you can raise your hands, team. So Laurie, did you have a question? I just unmuted you. Neha unmuted you. Jay Lakshmi unmuted you.
This is
Jyotsna, you
this
did
is
very well.
Lori. You've answered my question already. This is every day, correct?
Yes, Lori. So this is Monday to Friday.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Neha, who else said? Jay Lakshmi. Okay, Jay Lakshmi, I'm making you presenter. If you want me to make you presenter, please raise your hand, team, in the go to webinar option. Okay, great. So that's good. We're able to see Postman. Now, hi, how are you? Jay Lakshmi?
Hi,
Some of,
can you see me?
yes, I can see your screen and I can hear you. So fantastic. So good. Now, this is Postman website, team. Now we will download the version that we will install on our local machine. So can you please click on the product, take your mouse over it? Yes. So this is primarily, let's look at API client. API platform also should be okay, but can you go down, please? There should be, can you do me a favor? Let me do search better. I'll say Postman download. It'll show me the link. Okay, copy link at this. Let me put this also on the chat. No, I didn't copy that. Yeah, that's correct. What you got, please? The first one. There you go. So that's the download app that we have. Let's click on it. That's the Windows version. So do we know if we are a 32-bit or 64-bit? So the easiest way is let's go to your System Explorer, please. Folder structure on your local machine or File Explorer is fine. Yeah. Is it doing something? Did it open? Can you please switch the window to that? It's in your taskbar.
Yeah, give me a moment.
Sure. Okay, great. So let's go to, see, do you see this PC on the left side navigation? This PC, the main one, to the left side. After, yeah, there you go. Right click on that, this PC, properties. There we go. So this is where it will tell us the configuration of our system, team. So it's a Windows 10, and under system you see processor, which is i7 1.8 gigahertz, then installed RAM, your internal memory, and your system type, that is a 64-bit OS. So this is a good configuration. i7 is one of the faster processors. 12 GB RAM will support a lot of applications to run on it. So that's good. Now, that is what we have, team. So let's choose the 64-bit in Postman download. Perfect. We'll let that happen. Now, can we go in the meanwhile to GitHub, the other link, please? Okay. Actually, I sent a URL in the chat.
Yeah, I just saw that.
Good. Yes. So now, team, we will learn a lot about GitHub and Git and how we use it and why we use it. But at the moment, we are trying to be the users of GitHub for certain activities. Okay. So GitHub is exactly like something like Google Drive on the cloud where I can create some content and I can share it with others. I can have other members collaborate into my Google Drive and make changes. That is exactly what we can do with GitHub. But instead of sharing or saving documents or spreadsheets or PowerPoints, we can do an entire folder structure, which is very code intensive. So Anyot is also another tool that is built on Selenium and so on that we'll download and use on our machine. So let's click on that code, green button please out here. This is a public GitHub repository, so anyone can download. So the last option called download zip. And that should start getting downloaded. Now, Postman will require installation. Anyot is just taking that folder structure and putting it on our system. So let's click on the Postman, please, going back and let's launch the installation. Yes. We will have to do some more downloads later for mobile application and so on team, but we'll take it one by one. Okay. So Postman we will use for API, Anyot for both a UI and then a little bit API as well. All of these that we will try and learn is by not getting into the code franticness of what is this, what is that, and so on. We will take it a little bit more structured. I think a window showed up. Yeah, installing Postman. There you go. Team, you all should be able to replicate or perform the same steps at your end. Your Anyot also is downloaded. You'll need to unzip that, please. So do me a favor. Don't click on it there. Click on that arrow that you see, up arrow. Okay. Go back to your browser, please, for me. So that arrow that you see, yeah, show in folder, you already got it actually. So there, yeah, show in folder. Right click on it and say, no, just right click once again, please. Escape and right click again. Yeah, come to the middle of it which says open with. Yes, now choose File Explorer and let's open it. Now, whatever were the contents of that GitHub folder will come here. Click on that runner-master, do a Control C, copy this entire folder. That is what we are doing. You do a Control C.
Yes.
Great. Let's go to C drive back in your, yeah, click on C drive. Perfect. Let's create one new folder here, please. We can right click and say, yeah, that's good. Say AA for Anyot. Perfect. Let's go into this folder and let's do a Control V. This runner master will get copied here. While that's happening, shall we go back to that Postman? So team, sorry, I'm switching between a few windows, but you should be able to do the same. So I don't know if it wants, okay. See, you can see that skip and go to the app at the bottom on the left side. I think you don't need to create a free account. There we go. Excellent. So here is where we will do some API commands tomorrow, team. Okay. So get this in place and I will talk about how we can create some collections of APIs and put them together. So hopefully in about 2 to 4 days, we will be covering the basics on Anyot and Postman. Now, these are important, team, for you to understand how we do API testing or how we do UI testing. So you'll get a perspective of, oh, why do we have so many people working on Selenium or UFT? Why do they say, what is it, API testing? What is the complexity there in all of this? That's what we'll explore. All right. Great. So let's go back to this NEOT, the other one that you were doing in the Explorer piece. All right, let's expand runner master. Let's expand NEOT runner, please. Now this folder is the main automation framework folder, everyone. Can we do a full screen of this window? Yes, thank you. Great. So one of the most important things here is you will see that there's something called demo.xls. Can we open that? Yeah. Let me explain to you in a very, very brief manner as to what we are doing in this team. So what we are doing, if you take any web application, we have a lot of functionalities in a web application. Yes, maximize, please. Thank you. Enable editing. Yes. And we start with the first tab on the left side. Besides modules, there's one more tab. Yes, that's the AUT. So we talk about application under test. This is more of a non-usage tab, but the main content starts with the modules tab. It basically tells me, can we go to the modules tab, the next one, that my entire application will be divided into certain modules like user registration, shopping cart, transactions, products, e-commerce, UI, and so on. So here we have divided a few as modules. Now in each module, what we have are bunch of test cases. That is the next sheet. And for each test case as a row, we write specific steps. That are the test steps. I will go very detailed on this team later. I'll explain each and everything. You will be creating your own Excel's automation runs through it as well. Now, these tests, can you scroll to the left of the sheet, please? We are in column E right now, not there. Go to the right, even, yeah, there we go. No, little right, correct, perfect. Few more. See, we're in column D, keep coming to column A. So here it tells me that in a module, in a test case, there is a step. The step could be like open browser, log in, do this, do that, and log out, and so on. All of these are mentioned as to what they do in the step description in column D. But the most important ones are from column E, F, G, H, I, J, K. That talks about the keyword as if what we want to do. It talks about elements as to how I identify elements and what test data I give. So all these details are there in the next sheets: UDK, built-in keywords, EID, test data. That's UDK. You will come to them. Then built-in keywords. Built-in keywords is only common thing for any application. Then we have EID. This is like a page factory of elements and how we recognize them, and we keep those saved out here. Then we have test data. Test data tells me, oh, I want to run this application on certain set of data, or I can change that data. So each column B is one set, column C is another set of data. So now let's go back again to modules, please. In column D, D for David, we see the execute mode. It basically tells me what modules I want to execute. I get to choose which ones. Then I go to my test cases and I can choose within the module what I want to execute and not, and so on. And then test steps will automatically go on. So that's a demo.xls team. So anything that I want to do on the application, I can do it out here without having to do any coding on the app itself. And that is what we are doing. So now let's close this, please. And team, I'm also getting late for the other webinar, but what I'm going to do, I hope you all have the reminder for it, team. I don't know how many of you registered. I'm going to quickly give you that URL so you can go and register on this website, please. We will be done here in a minute. We'll come back to you. Okay, can we go back to NEOT now, that folder in our file explorer? Right, so here we have something called as neot.jar. So jar is a Java archived resource executable. So when we double click that, it will launch the small window. Once again, click away and then click back. Did it open? Yeah, there you go. Now it did. All right. So it basically gives some default values. The third one is a select test Excel, which now points to demo.xls. So that's the default one. We have a default browser timeout. You can give your email address if you want your results to be emailed to you post this. But just click on the execute automation test at this point. And it should ideally now start triggering a web UI run by launching your Chrome browser, Chrome driver rather. I would like all of you to perform the same team and get set on this for tomorrow. Now, I don't know why it's not doing anything or I can't see. There you go. Now it started. It took a few seconds to get started, but it's launched. It's maximized the browser. It looks to be navigating to the URL. It's performing those tasks of entering credentials and so on. It's logged into the application under test. I think it was a simpler test case that we have, and it'll give us some good results that we'll explore tomorrow. All right. So team, I want you all to get ready with this. We will play around with a lot of this. We will also have to download some mobile applications a little later in the week or next week, where we will explore a lot in terms of how we do and report in actual applications. Any questions for today, please? I'm going to see you all back tomorrow, team. That's the plan as of now. And I
Yes,
put
I do
the
have a
go to.
question. I do have a
Yes,
question, may I ask? Did
give me
you
one second.
I got confused when you were downloading the NEAUT. It looked like GitHub. Do we just navigate out to NEUAT and download that?
So in GitHub, there is a specific URL,
But do we
and
have, I
I
don't have
put
GitHub on my machine. Well, I'm confused because you told us to download Postman and NEAUT.
right. I did.
So how do I download NEAUT? Do I go to GitHub?
You go to github.com/neotech/runner, the URL that I put in the chat.
And I don't see that, I'm sorry.
Okay, so there's a chat window in GoToWebinar.
And I don't see that. I see my microphone.
Okay, let me try and put that again.
Mode.
I sent it to everyone. Let me send you again. Did you all get it, team? Yeah, it's there in the chat. So you'll see a chat option, Laurie.
I open something up. It says the webinar, masterclass.
Can I make you the presenter?
Sure.
And I will guide you through the URL. You can type it in, please. github.com.
Oh, this is ridiculous. This is wrong. This shouldn't be there. What would you, this is the seminar. This is where I was at. This is where we are.
Oh, no,
Oh.
no, no, no. I didn't say your browser go to webinar. There is a application on your local machine that is running through which we are connecting called go to webinar. You see the icon on your taskbar?
Let me find it. This
Yes, click
one?
on that.
Okay, that's right
And
here.
then you see chat there.
No, I see pencils, make attendee presenter, give
Uh-huh.
control. People share your screen. No, I'm sorry, I don't see it yet.
Wow, okay. So not a problem. There should be a chat option. Let's figure it out for tomorrow, Laurie.
Okay.
Can you do me a favor? In a new tab in your Google Chrome browser, go to a new tab there in the same browser. Yeah. Type github.com slash anyot, ANY,
Any,
ANY, please. It's coming
oops,
as no problem.
sorry.
AUT X.
Yes, that's
X.
it. X.
No, X slash / runner. RUNN.
That's it.
Runner. RUNNER.
Okay.
Let's go. There you go. So that was the URL that I shared. Now let's look on, click on code and then the download zip.
Thank you. This is where
You're
I
welcome.
can.
No problem. But I just want to make sure that tomorrow when you join, the chat option is enabled. So we'll work on that tomorrow. All right.
Okay, so I open the zip and do what?
Open the
Folder
zip
in the
and
top
you'll
of
have
my
to
C drive.
follow you have to unzip and get it into one of your Google, C drive folders.
Okay, and this is the unconfirmed download, correct?
It is still downloading because it's still downloading.
All right. Oops, it just disappeared.
There you go. So
There
yes,
it is.
now just do a Control C, click it and do a Control C.
Okay.
Let's go to C drive.
PC and this PC.
Yeah, expand the right arrow. C drive. Let's put a new folder there. You can right click and say new folder.
Yep.
Yeah, new folder. Perfect. Let's say
AA.
AA. Mm-hmm.
Okay, open that up.
And
Right click,
Control V or paste.
Control V.
Let's do Control C again from the other folder.
Oh dear.
No problem.
No, I lost it.
The third
Here it
file
is.
is actually the one
I got
maybe.
it. I
Yeah.
got it. Control C.
No, that's a zip version. So we'll have to take the unzip. So right click on it
Okay.
and say open with in the
And
between.
open
Just
it.
Explorer, File Explorer.
Right.
Okay, click on OK. Now
There.
copy this.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Control C.
Yes, please. Did you click on it and do a Control C? You didn't click on it.
Control
Now
C.
Control C.
Got it.
Yeah, let's go back to that other folder.
Okay, let's find that folder. One master.
AA.
AA. There we
Yes.
are. Paste.
And paste. Perfect.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. You're most welcome. So we'll spend some time on Eniot and Postman from tomorrow, team.
Wonderful.
Team, yeah, you're welcome. Thank you. So team, the whole intent is very simple. I don't want you to get very worried about, oh, Selenium, oh, TestNG, oh, Maven, oh, POM-PF, frameworks. Yes, there is a lot. But for an end user, what is important? Let's figure that out first. Then we can go deeper. I'll see you all tomorrow at the same time, everyone. And I'm going to start the GoToWebinar right now for the live project. Ramu also will join. I hope you all have that link to it. If not, just go to go.itlearn.com and please feel free to register. If you have a question right now, Tim, please raise your hand in GoToWebinar. I can unmute you. Yes, Lata, you have a question for me?
Hi. Actually, this course is like a 7 weeks course. Is free for 7 weeks, or it's like how it is?
There is a complete membership program. The first 2 weeks of crowd testing, what we are doing is open to all. The next
Okay.
5 weeks is only for the members there.
Where I can see the documentations actually, like a video.
You can go to go.itlearn.com.
Okay. In that I'll find it. Okay.
Yes, please.
Okay.
I'll show it to you again tomorrow.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
Great. Thank you. Any other questions, team? I think we're good
Could
for
you put
today.
that in the chat, please? The code.it. Could
Yeah,
you put that in
yeah.
the chat, please?
But
Thank
are
you.
you gonna get it, Laurie? Because you would not sure. I'm just putting it there. Go.itlearn.com and send it to all. Send.
Got it. Okay, and this is where we
You got it.
register. Perfect. Thank you.
Yes, in their live webinars, you can register there, please. And also you can sign up for the membership.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone. I'll see you, everyone, tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. Pacific. We'll continue from there. I'll
Thank
put
you.
this video onto YouTube and also have it emailed to you all, so you can check it out. Take care. Bye, all. Have a good rest of your day. JPEG members, I'll see you there in the next 2-3 minutes in the other webinar. I'll be starting soon. Thank you. Bye.